Hello, everybody. Welcome to an all new Beyond the Barricade. We are live at 7:02 right now at this moment. And I always get a kick watching Jack's expression as we took the 23-6 title from him. Love it. Love it. All right. Let me bring out my guest, the one and only Michael Larkin. There you go. How you doing?
I'm good. How about yourself, Papa Dank? It's a pleasure to be on the show. How are you?
Oh, man. I had a little technical glitch for a second. Holy crap. How you doing tonight?
I'm good, man. I'm feeling good. I'm happy to be on the show with you, just talking, shooting the breeze about wrestling, and I'm just ready to talk to you, shoot what you got to ask me, and I'm here, man. I'm happy.
All right, let's start off. Well, actually, this has been a long time coming.
Oh,
We've been talking about this for years.
We have about a year or two now, but I mean, hey, good things come to those who wait, and patience is a virtue, and here we are.
Yeah, I mean, I knew, like, we talked about you coming when you came out to Long Island and this and that, because I was just doing videos at PPW, really, and at people's houses. But once I started streaming, I'm like, oh, it's going to be good to get you on the show finally.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're both Long Islanders. I grew up East Islip, not too far from the NYWC Sportatorium and not too far from the VPW Hall. So, man, good times, great memories.
Good times, good times. All right, let's dive into some of those origins. How did you fall in love with this wonderful world that we call wrestling?
Oh my goodness. All right. So I was a late bloomer. I always knew of professional wrestling, like your Hulk Hogan's, your Rocks, your Stone Colds, your Undertakers. But I really didn't start getting into it until like 2002. My dad was been a fan for over 40 plus years. I had a family friend that was a fan of it. So my kind of introduction to pro wrestling was like Jeff Hardy. Like I was a huge Jeff Hardy fan. You know what I'm saying? The high octane aerial assault. One of my first memories of him was Single Star Jeff, mid 2002. Him and The Undertaker, that ladder match from that infamous Raw, Climb the Ladder, Kid, Make Yourself Famous, the storytelling that went into that. So that was my earliest memory of professional wrestling, Jeff Hardy and The Undertaker for the Undisputed Championship. And then I was hooked on from that.
Awesome. Let's start off how you ended up at NYWC.
Oh my goodness. So the first time I ever went to an NYWC event was back in the days of the Deer Park Community Center, probably around 05, 06. You also have to remember around this time, there was the Deer Park Community Center for NYWC.
Right.
There was, oh my goodness, JAPW, Jersey All Pro Wrestling in Rahway. There was NWA Cyberspace in Wayne, New Jersey. So this was one of the peak, as a lot of people call around the indie scene. And for NYWC, and I had a family friend. We went. The first event I ever attended was the 2006 Psycho Circus. You had The Solution, Papa Don and Havoc, God rest his soul, and John the Sure Thing Shane. You had Dickie Rods. You had Javier. You had the early stages of Mega. Like, that was my earliest memory. And, of course, Brian Myers and Brian Matthews, Cardona and Myers. So, yeah, that was my first memory, going to the Psycho Circus 2006.
Awesome. I just went to my first Psycho Circus last weekend.
Well, yes, I saw some of your picks. I saw the results. I see the Big O is now the NYWC champion. That's awesome.
The Big O, yeah, he's he's doing his thing. He's got a big match coming up with Cardona at the next NYWC event, Aftermath.
I love that.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a guy. A lot of good people at NYWC. A lot of good people there.
Dude, it's one of the most, I've said this for years, it's the hottest independent pro wrestling in the tri-state area in the Northeast. I look at it from a stance there. Like, you have Mike Mondo as a head trainer, who's someone who just has a wealth of knowledge, and everybody there. I mean, it's a good crop of people. I'd recommend anybody go to that school.
And quite a match you had with Dickie Rods at Psycho Circus. Crazy.
Dude, I know. And I mean, that's another one who I grew up with, the Dickie Rods Mason Rage back in the day, that tag team and that feud. Oh, good times.
What about Alvin Alvarez and Tony Nese? They were and Apollyon, they were back there at that time.
I love that too. So my earliest memory of Apollyon was when he was Joey Brajol, Make You Sleep at the Fishes. And you had and Alvin Alvarez was that guy that just really came into his own years upon years. He was so good. And like you mentioned, so many people around that time period. I remember the SATs against Mike Spinelli and Tony Burma. We'll be here all day. Jamie Van Leemer and Dan Dynasty, Mikey Whipwreck. Oh, just so many great factions. We could be here all day with that.
We could. All right, let's jump out. Oh, we got a comment somewhere there. Oh, hey, how's it going? Dudes at ringside saying hello.
Oh, hello, dudes at ringside. How you guys doing?
All right, let's go in after your time at NYWC. Where did you go from there?
It's very interesting, man, because being a fan of the NYWC and going to a lot of those events, I started podcasting in 2015, so that kind of led to it. I was always, like we mentioned, a big professional wrestling fan. I've been watching it for 20 plus years. My parents actually worked in radio. My parents worked for 106.1 BLI back in the day, 80s, 90s time period. So I was always enamored with the radio side of things and just overall amplifying your voice and being that, entertainer on screen, off screen, what have you. So I started getting into podcasting in 2015. It became an idea. My best friend, Steve Nicofora, we had wanted to do it. He had convinced me to do it in 2014, but I was like, nah, I was very apprehensive. But then a year later, we started doing our thing, and I wanted to have a show where it focused on the entertainment wise as well as pro wrestling, give people a variety, which I believe we all need in anything that we do. So that's where it kind of gave me towards podcasting. And after NYWC, I just wanted to talk about wrestling and give my analyzation, dissecting, and deciphering about the product. So that's where it kind of led me to being a podcast in regards to pro wrestling. So yeah, that's kind of where NYWC led me to, because not a lot of people were covering it.
No, that's what I was about to say. You're probably one of the pioneers of it.
I don't know about that, but I got to say, I love what I do. And covering such a great product like that, absolutely.
At least out here in Long Island, maybe.
Of course.
Yeah, I didn't come till, I think it was like 5 years ago. I don't even remember how long.
Hey, that's a beautiful thing, though, man. I've been following your journey. You got to start somewhere, and you're still doing your thing now. I'm happy to see it.
They're starting to call me Big Deal Danks over here. So, I think I'm doing all right.
I think you are.
All right, let's go from how you your first podcast. Where was it? Like, how did you get it so that people can see it?
So we started on SoundCloud as my best friend Steve Nicofora and I. We called ourselves the Steve and Mike Show, S&M, as funny gag for short. Mm-hmm. And it was fun. Like, we just talked about everything in the summer of 2015, and then we branched out to not just what we want to do with current events, but Steve had his own show called the Stevie Nicks Experience / Hockey Experience. He's a New York Islanders fan, so we covered the hockey realm. I started going the pop culture realm. So we wanted to do our shows together, but also do some separate stuff. So again, with the variety factor, but also stuff that we love, and that's what we can enjoy and what we can bring to the table for people from a content standpoint and overall product standpoint. So I was a big fan of branching out and staying under that same umbrella that we encompassed.
What kind of pop culture were you covering?
Oh my goodness. So I started first and off with like me. I'll say it right here. I'm a boy band guy. Give me some Backstreet and sing at 98 Degrees. I love all music, but I'm a sucker for that stuff. So I started with that.
Listen, I'm an NSYNC guy, so
yes.
I was blasting it last summer in my car.
And it's so funny. Like, we talk about podcasting, and this is actually something that'll make you laugh here, Papa Dank. There's actually an NSYNC podcast out there called Digital Get Down, which is based off the track off No Strings Attached.
Oh, really?
Yes. I love it. And that's the main thing too about it too, is like, I was an NSYNC fan, so I wanted that my first ever pop culture history podcast episode, I talked about Celebrity, which had Pop and Girlfriend and songs like that on it. So I wanted to start with albums and start to get into movies and TV. And
I want to ask you, what was your favorite song?
My favorite song of NSYNC?
Yes.
Oh my God. You see, you're going to put me on the spot here because there's so many good ones.
There is so many good ones.
But everybody will say bye, bye, bye. But I'm like, that's too cliche.
Nope.
That's too cliche.
I don't say that.
Right. No, if I had to pick, I'd probably go Tearing Up My Heart. I was always a Tearing Up My Heart. How about you?
I particularly love the Nelly remix of Girlfriend.
Tell him bye-bye, then telling me long gone. Yep.
Okay. It got some beats to that. Yep. All right, go ahead. We're getting off track here with NSYNC.
No, you're fine. But no, that was my thing, dude. Like, bringing back the variety into podcasting and really the pop culture side of things. And you've seen this. I've worked with the likes of Miss Brittany Savage and so many people as far as guests goes.
I was going to bring up our mutual pal, Brittany.
Yeah, right. No, that was just fun because same thing. Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, 98 Degrees. I'd love to do more of that again in the future, man, now that I've gotten back in the right headspace because I had a lot of personal stuff going on. But like stuff like that makes me smile, man. I've worked with Brittany, a lot of the NYWC people, a lot of people outside of that. I mean, I've worked with Alex Solowitz and Noah Bastian, who were in the mock boy band together, who was on MTV. Like, just bringing that platform with guests to it as well as my peers. That's what I love. You know what I'm saying? It's all about giving the platform to tell the story.
Now, you were doing something with Brittany called Promo Wars.
Oh my goodness, yes. So Max
Let's talk
Wrestling.
about promo wars.
We'll talk about that. Okay, so Max Wrestling Podcast, great podcast. Dazzy Dangerously out of the UK did some badass logos for me, and he's a good dear friend of mine since 2016. So I was on that show. We did a fun little promo exhibition at Promo Series, and I was doing some pop culture stuff. She did her thing. It was such a blast. I'd recommend anybody to go check it out. It's on Max Wrestling YouTube channel. Just type in Max Wrestling Podcast, and you'll see it. Just type in Mike Larkin and Brittany Savage. Oh, that was so much fun. It was about 3 years ago now.
I remember listening to a couple of them. They were pretty good.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I love to entertain.
She's got the skills, Brittany.
She does. It's an amazing talent. I think you were telling me like she just wrestled not too long ago, right?
She did not too long ago. I believe it was December's show at NYWC. She fought Izzy McKenna.
Ah, another great talent. Yes.
And then she showed up at the Psycho Circus and did her thing.
Oh, wonderful.
Gave a stunner and left.
Wonderful. That makes me happy to hear. Yes.
Yeah, she's doing great. Let's talk about how you got into announcing, because I see you're doing some stuff with some federations out there.
Ah, yes. So I've done 2 so far with a company that I work with called LFC Lingerie Fighting Championship. It's a little bit of MMA, a little bit of wrestling, and a little bit of clothing. I kind of equate it to like when we had the
little bit of clothing, yeah.
A little bit of clothing. I mean,
yeah, I've seen the pics.
I would kind of equate it to when we had the LFL, the Lingerie Football League. Yes. But no, that was my thing, man. Like, I got an opportunity to ring announce at their Halloween event, LFC 35 Booty Camp in 3D. It was at the Future Stars of Wrestling, FSW Arena out in Las Vegas, which has brought us so many great wrestling talents from Chris Bay, Eli Drake, Karrion Kross, Brian Cage have come out of there. And then I did the second one there as well, LFC 36. So being the podcaster for that brand, which I have called Beauty, Strength, and Dominance, which I named it after Beauty, Strength, and Dominance, the 3 key elements that make women the work of art that they are. I was already doing so much, and getting the opportunity to really ring announce and really amplify myself and put on a great show for people. It was like that. It was a no-brainer just to go into that, do those 2 events.
That's awesome. And you're still associated with LFC.
I am, yes. So LFC right now, like I mentioned, the podcast Beauty, Strength, and Dominance. We are on the LFC network on Roku, and you can get, get that. Yeah, you can get that. Yes, you can get
that. It's a big deal.
I mean, I'm still pinching myself, and I'm humbled by that. And I think everything in life, like we talk about, God gives us many blessings, and we show our purpose. This is my purpose, man. And I love what I do because I get to work with a lot of these ladies who get onto the show and want to ask tips and really provide that knowledge. But yeah, LFC Network on Roku features the podcast, features a lot of the reality shows and the LFC events. I recommend anybody to check it out. It's LFC capitals and capital N for network. We're on there, man. It's Roku, baby.
Awesome. I see you do some stuff for CCW as well, right?
Yes. Capital Championship Wrestling is an amazing promotion out of Houston.
Talk about that.
Yeah, man. So Marcello, I had him on my show for On the Mic with Mike, and this is how the opportunities come, man. Like, we did an interview, we talked about doing some stuff, and then boom, I became a part of the brand. I cover and analyze, dissect, and decipher women's wrestling. So I have the show called Progression and Succession, which is their preview show, and I came up with that name because it's progression of women in wrestling and their succession along the way. And I do their recap shows. And I mean, god dang, man, some of the best talents there, from Kylan King, the new NWA Tag Team Champions, the Renegade Twins. We're talking about Vita Von Starr. We're talking about the Notorious Mimi. We're talking about so many people that came from there. Rebecca Scott. We're talking about the Goons of the Scenic City. So many talents that have really applied their craft in such a short period of time with CCW. I love it. Man. It's a great gig.
That's awesome. So you still continue to work with them? I
still continue to work with them, and I don't plan on stopping. I think if you give me a platform, and I've always said this, if you give me a platform, I'm gonna knock it out of the park, and that's the right mindset to have. Positivity all around.
Awesome. Let's talk about the current state of the business. What are your thoughts on what's going on in these different promotions? AEW, of course, and WWE.
I think it's a great opportunity for a lot of talent to hone their craft. I mean, you look at the AEW brand with Dark and Elevation and how they promote it. I mean, we had Sunday Night Heat and Velocity back in the day. It's a great way to show up and coming talents. The NXT brand has become a developmental again, and you're seeing a lot of the homegrown talents really amplify themselves. I mean, you have Braun Breaker, Grayson Waller, Carmelo Hayes, just to name a few. And AEW, you got MJF, you got the Acclaimed, you got Bryan Danielson, you have the veterans and the up-and-comers. I think it's a great time to be a professional wrestling fan because there's that nice mix and variety of storytelling as well as damn good professional wrestling at the same time. So I think having more promotions, it's healthy. It gives people a chance to really hone their craft. There's indies. There's so much wrestling out here for women's professional wrestling, men's professional wrestling, and all around professional wrestling. It's a healthy mix and a healthy combo.
Right. I'm a big Grayson Waller fan. I mean, I think that guy's got it pretty much all. Promo work, ring work. I mean, I think the sky's the limit for him.
I mean, he's an Aussie, man. And I look at it from a stance too as well. That dude
He is.
He is. He can talk.
He can talk. He can work. Yeah, absolutely.
He's the man. Like the fact that, and I'm going to say this, I was very impartial because when we became to the Charlotte event, I kind of wanted to see him beat Braun Breaker, but I think with the direction that they're going now with the Shawn Michaels stuff, I'm curious. You have me hooked. So I can't wait.
Me too. Absolutely. Hopefully they'll bring him back. They'll bring him up to the main roster.
Oh, I agree. I think he'd do well on Raw or SmackDown. It doesn't matter. I think you put him anywhere, he'll knock it out of the park.
What are some, since your focus has been mostly female talents, what are some of the female talents you see coming out of like AEW and WWE that are just tapping their potential and can really hit it out the park?
Right. I mean, now,
like a Bianca, you know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly. Like with Bianca on the main roster, like for NXT, I see women like Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade, Tiffany Stratton. There's so many women there. Gigi Dolan and JC Jane, the former Toxic Attraction.
Right.
On the AEW side of things, I look at women like, of course, the Thunder Rosas. I look at women like Jade Cargill, who's just amazing. There's so many talents there. Like, I mean, you have the new addition of Saraya and Toni Storm, and you have Jamie Hayter, who I'm going to say right now, in such a short period of time, has killed it. So
she has killed it.
Right, and those are some of the ones that I look at, man, and I just like, God dang, man, if this is the future, sign me up. This is where we're at.
That's right. I mean, it's good to have competition, and for a while, WWE was just the only game in town, to be honest with you. Right. You know, with Impact way behind, but now Impact's picking up some steam, and then you got Billy Corgan's NWA.
Right, and I mean,
some great talent there too.
Right, you mean you look at the talent in the NWA, and I mean, like we talked about the Renegade Twins, and I mean they have Tyrus as the champ now, but god dang, man, like there's such a spread and a variety and a wavelength of talent. Like it doesn't matter wherever you are. It's like the territory days all over again.
Right, that's what it feels like. Absolutely, it does feel like the territory days.
Well, you have to do that because it's very old school and it's very simplistic with a lot of simplicity. But if you really want to get your name out there, you make waves wherever you go, whether it be East Coast, West Coast, down south, what have you. You need to have that experience. You have to gain that knowledge under your belt.
Right. Let's go back to CCW for a moment. What talent there do you see progressing really fast and go, man, she's got it, or he's got it, or he's got it. Whoever's got it. Yeah, at this point.
I mean, the current champions of CCW, you have Kylan King, the mother effing King, who's done her thing in NWA, Impact, and all over. But one I'm really high on is the global fighting champion, Rebecca J. Scott, man. Let me tell you something about RJS. She's coming back from injury. She's dominating the paint. She just came off a great win against Sarah Leone, who came all the way from Spain. It has a very global fighting international vibe to it.
Wow.
Yeah, and she did her thing with a girl by the name of Nikki Duke, who's another one to look out for. You know what I'm saying? So Rebecca J. Scott is that one that has that overall heel mannerisms. You hate to hate her, but you love to love her at the same time. So that's one who's high on my list.
Okay. I see Selena De La Renta's on there, right?
Well, Selena De La Renta has...
Or was it a one-off?
Oh, Selena De La Renta, I think, might have done like a one-off back in the day, but to be honest with you, I don't even recall if Selena was on there. Selena actually just did LFC not too long ago. She actually was on the last event.
That's what it was, LFC. That's
no worries. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, Selena De La Renta was against Katie Forbes at the last LFC 37 event in Las Vegas, Nevada. I killed it against Katie Forbes, man. Like Katie Forbes coming in, being the predominant athlete that she is, has the assets, pun intended, the thickness, if you will. Beautiful woman, but god dang, man, she's strong. She came from WoW Women of Wrestling. I mean, it's a combination, my friend.
Awesome. You got a lot of good stuff going on over there.
You know what it is too? I look at it from a stance too as well. LFC, we talk about variety, and I may be repetitious with this, but you gotta love it. It's LFC provides you the wrestling side of things. You may get some people from MMA. There's a lot of people that want to do it to show that empowerment side of things, exude and accentuate that internal and external beauty while looking sexy at the same time and kicking ass. Beautiful thing.
Awesome. And traveling, how's traveling for you going to these different events all over?
Oh my goodness. So doing the Las Vegas event, I'm not going to lie, from where I am in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, it can be a hell of a plane ride. There's a lot of red eyes that go into it. There's time difference, but I wouldn't change it, man, just because it's the experience and just studying notes and really getting yourself, because there's going to be a doggone good crowd there, whether you're at the FSW arena, wherever you are, you want to show up and show out, as they say. So for me, it's like anything. You know what I'm saying? If you're really dedicated and passionate about your craft, and it's like a day off. You know.
Okay. Have you bumped into anybody that's giving you some sort of advice for, podcasting
Well,
or ring announcing or whatever?
I'm gonna tell you something, man. My parents have been my biggest supporters, and I'll say this right now. One of the things that got me really emotional going into the first LFC event that I did. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now. My mother at the time, I was going through a lot of personal stuff myself, and it really got me out of it. My mother was diagnosed with inflammatory breast cancer, and around this time, she was going through some chemo. The chemo took a lot out of her. We had family over. I had to get the Vegas gig for the first time. So what I did was I set up the TV so she could watch me, on the website for the pay-per-view.
Right.
And just the overall, just doing that and experiencing that. My mother has been my biggest supporter from day one, same with my father. But having my mother, when I came home from Las Vegas and I just smiling, hugging me because she got to see me perform. Mind you, she wasn't there, but she was there in spirit. That kind of is really what touched my heart and really brings a lot of joy to that moment. And for me, another one, God rest his soul, Crusher Dugan, NYWC. Probably one of the smartest son of a guns out there, wealth of knowledge in his own right. He was always a fan of what I did. I got a chance to interview him about 5-6 years ago. And he was always very complimentary about my work. And as far as he's like, man, Mike, you should be a ring announcer somewhere. You should be doing something. And well, here I am. And so a lot of that goes to the one and only, God rest his soul, Crusher Dugan. He was a big part of my influences as well.
Awesome. Now, ring announcing is not easy because I did it once. And I'm like, no, this is not for me.
Doggone, man. Yeah, no, when I first did it in October of 2021, I mean, you could tell if you watch it back, nerves is killing me, man. I was nervous as hell, but I was happy with my performance. And as I watch it back and reassess and reevaluate, going to LFC 36, more confidence was shown in that. But yeah, no, when you first do it, it's hard because it's just like, oh my God, there's people in front of you. It's different than like what we're doing here, Papa Dank, talking on the stream here, as opposed to what
much different.
Yeah, it's much different. So it's a bundle of nerves, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's exciting once you get the hang of it. You know what I'm saying? It's like a bicycle, getting on and on.
Man, I don't know. And that's probably what I would probably need is more and more practice. But it didn't help when they're like, all right, here you go. Here's some cards. Good luck.
I mean, well, I think you'll get it. I mean, I can tell by talking to you, listen to you talk. You have that overall influence. You have that influx in your voice. So I think you'll do fine when you do it again.
Oh no, I'm not doing it no more. No, I'm gonna stick to this and the blog stuff that I'm doing. Well, I like to do funny stuff.
Well, I mean, you're an entertainer, man. You're an entertainer.
You know what? I think I am. When I was young, when I was just a wee lad, I went to Nassau Community College to be an actor. That's what I want to do. I want to be an actor. Well, and I love entertaining. And thanks to my son, we were able to do his Brandon Deck reports that we were doing back then, especially during the pandemic. And we would just do all these different skits, and I just enjoyed it. Like, just being entertaining.
I'll say this. I've seen a lot of you and your son's work. You could tell just, again, not just the father and son bond, but the vibrancy and the entertainment. I recommend any of your listeners who haven't checked it out because y'all two, great chemistry, and it's funny, man. I've seen a lot of those skits.
Oh, let me tell you, I got gray hairs. I got to dye my hair. He's giving me all these gray hairs, Brandon. But him too. He wants to be in the business. He wants to be a wrestler. He's at the gym now, working out, getting himself in shape.
Oh man, I wish
he could be a wrestler.
Hey, I wish him nothing but the best and continued success. I hope it comes into fruition for him.
Oh, we got a comment here from Brittany Knox. You got more people when you're funny. You get more people when you're funny, not obnoxious but funny. I myself prefer someone who jokes and makes me smile as a professional type. I think that Mike, you're kind of like me. You're kind of like the same way.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too. I like to entertain, man. I mean, you have to have that overall influx. I mean, it's great to be a professional, but you don't want to be stiff. You need to lighten up, loosen up.
Right. I think if you gave me a mic and I went out to the ring and I was like a commissioner or something, I bet you I could do some great stuff.
I think you could, man. I think just when the opportunity knocks, I would say just hit it out the park and just also stay calm, stay poised, and just stay cool, man. I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's I get really nervous. Even coming on here and doing a show like this, like I'll get nervous and I'm like fidgety and stuff. And then once we start going, I'm just like relaxed and in the zone.
Hey, we all get nervous. So I mean, it's natural. It's human nature.
Awesome. Let's talk more about CCW. What specific things do you like about CCW of what they're doing? Like, are they doing something different that you're like, some of the big leagues should, check this out because these guys are like doing special work here.
There's a lot of focus on storytelling. I mean, currently what we got going on here, when you see like there's a lot of the tournaments too, like to really show who's the best as far as tag team tournaments and who's
Right.
going to be the Battle of the Throne champion here. A lot of focus on women's wrestling storytelling. I mean, Kayla Sparks and Vita Von Star had a great feud in CCW. The feud with Vita Von Star and Kylan King really kind of puts the pieces together of where we're going to go from show to show and how we can bounce around and come back to it. So I think storytelling is very key and prominent as far as Capital Championship Wrestling goes.
Right. I agree because I've been to several promotions around the block, and I'll see like they just throw a match and there's like nothing to it. There's like, okay, it's just two guys or two women just wrestling each other with no like end game.
Right.
And I agree with you. Like storytelling is probably the most important thing because you're gonna have to, besides doing promo work, you're gonna have to hook the audience into the show.
Dude, it's the gravitational pull, and I think a lot of people in today's society, and I'll say this right now, a lot of people are about the 5 stars when they actually should be focused on how you're the star. How are you going to be the star? How are you going to develop your character? How are you going to develop the little intricacies, nuances, and subtleties?
Right.
That is what really is the important right there.
Right. And I also see a lot of the talent, not only in Long Island, but all over. If they got a match coming up, let's say you're in Pennsylvania and you got whatever promotion that's out there, and they're just not doing promos. Like even if you don't know who your opponent is, just cut a promo and get it out there. Promote yourself, promote the show, get butts and seats, as they say, and let's call it a day.
I mean, that's another thing, like you mentioned so eloquently there, man. That's what CCW does. You'll see a nice little video package to get you excited. Doesn't matter who the opponent is. Boom, here we are. You need that. You need to put yourself out there more. It doesn't matter whatever promotion it is, like you mentioned, Pennsylvania. You could be going,
Right.
like there's here in Myrtle Beach, there's like one that's a half an hour from me. It doesn't matter where you're at. Show up, show out, and show up for the promotion that you are and put on a damn good show in the process.
Right. I know I joke around when I say, hey, I won't ring announce no more.
Yeah.
But I think I would just go back and just give it my best shot again. And because if you step out of your comfort zone, that's when you start to shine. Because if you're just going to stay in one lane, you're never going to get anywhere. Just like this. If I didn't start doing this, I'd be watching. I don't even know what's on now. I'd be watching that. I wouldn't be motivated to do anything. I wouldn't go to the gym. I wouldn't do a lot of things. You just got to put yourself out there. Same thing with wrestlers coming up. A lot of them stick to the one promotion for loyalty, whatever the reason. Get yourself out there, make those connections, do different things, get noticed.
You have to expand because if you don't adapt, then you'll perish. So I mean, you need to expand more. And I mean, like we mentioned back in the mid 2000s, like we had NWA Cyberspace, Billy Firehawk, Jersey All Pro Wrestling, NYWC. There's still more out there now with H2O. So I mean, you got to keep expanding.
Right. Now I kind of approach the same philosophy. I guess it was taught to me because I'm a manager in a big retail company, and I just look at certain things. I'm like, oh, let's change this, or this isn't selling well. Let's get something else because you got to grow your business.
Right. And I've worked in market research myself, so I understand how people want to do surveys and stuff and how they answer kind of what they like. So I mean, yeah, you get a feel for it after a while.
Right. Absolutely. All right. What else is coming up for you?
Oh man, a lot is coming up for me, man. Like
Let's talk about it.
All right. Yeah, we have a CCW coming up. The Battle of the Throne tournament on March 12th is coming up for Houston, Delaware. There's a lot of great matches on there. Kylan King on Ray Lynn. We got the Renegade Twins in action. I will be doing my Progression and Succession preview show for that very, very soon. Lingerie Fighting Championships just came off an amazing event from LFC 37 back to the mansion on Valentine's Day, which featured Selena De La Renta and Katie Forbes in the main event. And there's just a lot, man. I'm still doing my LFC thing. And I'm still doing my CCW thing. And I'm just going to keep going on and on till the break of dawn, my friend.
Are they broadcasting CCW?
CCW, yeah. Should be on Title Match Network, yes.
Okay. All right. I'll have to check them out.
I've
heard about them. I just haven't had a chance to check them out. You know, our schedules are kind of crazy.
Hey, that's all. It's about being on the grind, whether it be a shoot job or whether this, man. The grind never stops.
It doesn't really stop at all. What are some of your goals that you set for yourself for this year?
Man, for me, for goals, just continuing to do more announcing, maybe do some more commentating for LFC. I think in the future down the line, like, man, like my mindset of the beauty, strength, and dominance that I mentioned, the three key elements that make women the work of art that they are, I'd like to maybe turn that into a book one day. I think my message, not just for women, could also tend to anything that equates to life and anything that really goes on with how people view the overall aspect and perspective of life. That's something that I really want to dive into. But yeah, as of right now, at this current time, I think with everything that's going on with my mom, who's now cancer free, I want to make up and lose.
Awesome.
Thank you. I like to make up some lost time with my mom, just spend time with my family, and just continue to live life, man. Just continue to live life.
Awesome. Since you're a fellow podcast, I'm going to pick your brain for a moment.
Go ahead.
What type of guests do you prefer to be on the show?
Ooh. Okay, so I love, like I talked about, variety. I love interviewing professional wrestlers, but there's always something about interviewing someone who I've seen on TV, like my childhood, like I mentioned, Noah Bastion and Alex Sulowitz.
Right?
There's something about it, like Christine Owings, for example, who was on All That, who, Nickelodeon's All That. I got to know Christine Owings.
That's awesome.
Thank you. But that's the thing too. It's like, I love wrestling, but I think it's like stuff like that. When I was like a kid, I was like 5 when she was on All That. So getting a chance to do that and gaining the opportunities and just putting yourself out there, reaching out in whatever form, that stuff really gets me. So I think a lot of the pop culture realms, like that stuff when I grew up, that kind of also has a place in my heart. And if I had to choose, and I love them all, but that's where I would go towards more.
Awesome. Brittany has a comment. Are the wrestlers mean to the announcers in a joking manner?
I have not experienced that, but I will say I have been kissed on pay-per-view. I've been kissed.
Some of the wrestlers have been mean to me. What are you going to do?
Yeah, no, but it's
not everybody's perfect.
No, but I mean, I think you have to have that joking manner. I love that.
Oh, nice. Slime Time Live. Awesome.
Slime Time Live. Yes. Oh, my goodness. Back in the day. Take me back to the afternoons and then give me some You Pick Live. Oh, my goodness. I like that. I like that.
You know what was great? Alvin is a really good pal of mine. I love that guy. He's so awesome. His girlfriend, too, Carolyn, they're the best. He introduced me to one of my idols who I got to interview.
Who's that? Growing up,
K7 from TKA.
Yo, okay. Look at you. I like that.
And like I was like, yo, I can't believe I'm gonna go interview K7. Like I can't believe it. I'm freaking sitting at the clubs when I was like 21, watching these guys perform. Like, dude, now I get to interview them. Holy shit!
It's a surreal moment, man. Because you and I both, we could say as podcasters, not just wrestling in that perspective. Like we've interviewed a lot of people that on TV. It's nuts.
It's crazy, and to like be pals with someone like K7, like I'm at a club, I see him perform now. He sees me, hey Papa Tank, how are you? You know what I'm saying? Everybody just looks at me like, who the hell's this guy?
It's the connections, man. I love that. That makes me smile. I love that.
I feel like saying, hey, I'm Papa Tank. Look me up.
I'm Papa Dank. Google me. That's all you need.
That's right. Google me. That actually happened to me recently.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I was lucky. Absolutely. I got pulled over. I went to Remarkable Wrestling out here in Deer Park in the Sportorium, and I'm dropping off my friend and his son, and I was with my son, and we're pulling into this complex, and I'm like, "The hell? The lights are on." I'm like, I didn't do anything. She's like, I blew the stop sign. I'm like, what? So he takes my lights off. That I'm nervous. I'm trying to find my PBA card. I'm like, that was my PBA card. He comes back. He's like, where are you guys coming from? I said, watching wrestling in Deer Park. He's like, you guys a bunch of wrestlers? I'm like, no. And then my license plate says my name. So he goes, who's Papa Tank? And I'm like, it's me. I'm Papa Tank. I interview wrestlers all over the world. I didn't bring up anybody else. I just said wrestlers. And he's like, yeah, you have a good day. And let me go. You know what I'm saying? So that was a cool moment. And I told him, make sure you subscribe,
Hey, pre-promotion, my friend. I like that. Yep.
Always got to hustle the grind. Have you had some similar experiences like I have as like, hey, somebody recognizing you're like, who's this person?
Mostly, I would just say like when I first started interviewing the NYWC guys, they knew about me from the locker room because they knew like you just from my interviewing work. But that's about it. I mean, for me, just like I kind of keep a low profile, but I really don't like if I'd like to be personable. But I think when I go to wrestling events, I'm just like I'm going to stay over here and just enjoy the show. But I get noticed a little bit with that, and I love it. Anybody who notices me, I appreciate it. Say hello to me. I'm easy to interact with. I always say that. You know what I'm saying? Kindness goes a long way.
I mean, I will say you're very kind because I just didn't know you from really anything, and then I don't even know how you started talking. To be honest with you,
Well, I think it's just because our common bond of wrestling, and you saw the stuff I was doing with Brittany for the pop culture side of
maybe
things.
I left a comment, and then that's how we started,
Right?
probably.
Yes, it was something around that time. But either way, I think the littlest, the most subtleties really brings it to a great relationship. So here we are, man. I love it.
Right, absolutely. I met some great people in this business, and some not so great. But hey, what are you gonna do? Just roll with the punches and go.
Hey, there's good and bad in everything. I'll tell you some with LFC. There's been a lot of great girls, and I'm
Right.
blessed to see who I work with there. But I'm going to tell you something. There's been a lot of girls that have come in, have just been like, "Oofa." So I get it. I understand. They've had that attitude, so I
You're
get
like,
it.
oh man, here we go.
Here we go. Yep, been there.
And you just kind of just keep quiet and just go.
Yep, professionalism. Yep.
Absolutely, absolutely. So tell me, oh man, I bet we could talk about a bunch of stuff. Tell me about some of your hobbies. Let's
Some
go
of
with
my
that.
okay. For me, I besides podcasting, I like I have some books. I have some stuff on my Kindle. Like I love. There were some couple mental health books that I've read that really talk about rewiring your brain and stuff. That's very interesting to really find out about the mind.
Right.
There was a guy named Caleb Weigel here in Myrtle Beach who has wrote a couple books like has to do with like murder mysteries and kind of like who done it. He's very good. I would suggest anybody to look him up because they all kind of tie in together with his series. James Patterson, I remember reading When the Wind Blows in like high school, and I enjoyed his work from the Cross series. Like James Patterson's another one. But
Hmm.
yeah, if and it's funny, like we're talking about, like you mentioned hobbies here, but like books, like I used to hate reading books as a kid, but I think as you get older, you get more of appreciation for it. But yeah, stuff like that, or maybe I'll play some video games, some old school SmackDown Here Comes the Pain or stuff. But really, more of a quiet kind of give me a good book, and I'm happy.
All right. No Marvel movies or anything?
I don't mind them, but yeah, no. Like I said, I like to do a variety, and I'm cool with anything. But Marvel, it's good, but it's not like my go to thing. I'm
Okay.
more of a book reader.
Any good books that turn into movies that you're like, oh man, the movie did the book justice, or man, that movie really ruined the book for me.
Oh man, that's an interesting one. Like I remember when I was a kid when we read The Outsiders in school, and then you see the movie with Patrick Swayze and just the cast of characters there. Like I love the movie better. Like Speak was also an interesting one. So Speak was with what's her face, the one that was in Twilight, and somebody will bring that to me. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Kristen Stewart. Thank you.
Yeah, Kristen
Yeah,
Stewart.
yes. So in ninth grade, we read the book called Speak, and that was about the girl who got raped at the party and stuff
Mhm.
like that. And she was quiet. So they did an interpretation of that, and that was one of Kristen Stewart's like first films before like she became big with Twilight. So that was interesting. It was a nice little depiction of the book and to movie form.
Awesome. Awesome. Brenton, he's got a lot of comments for us tonight. If he likes to read, he would love Dungeon Crawler Carl, funny, nerdy, etc.
I will check that out. Thank you for the recommendation.
Awesome. Let's plug away your socials and all that stuff.
Oh my
So
goodness.
where everybody can follow you and what you got going on pretty
Where
soon.
to, where to begin? Okay, so if you guys want to follow me, Instagram is Larkin_92 or at MLarkinMB. I interact on both. One's for my show and one's for my personal stuff. It's the same with Twitter. It's at SM Show1 for Stephen Mike Show and all my goodness. And
Right.
MCL92 is my personal one. Like I said, say hello, interact. I love interacting with my peeps. You can check me out
I
on
can
LS.
attest to that.
Thank you, sir. You can also check me out on lfcfights.com, where you can see beauty, strength, and dominance in the VIP section of the website, along with great events and some more original content. You can check me out on the Capital Championship Wrestling YouTube channel. Go to CCW Action on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok for all the CCW information. You can subscribe to my YouTube, Mike Larkin 92, which gives you a lot of great wrestling shows. I did a new series called Uncaged with my friend Daniel Crimmins, where we look at a lot of great topics in the world of professional wrestling, and of course, a lot of my interviews and so much great content there. But yeah, you can check me out there, StephenMikeShow.com. I'll send you the links, Papa Dank, and you can put them in the description for the folks. But yeah, I got a lot going on, and I never stop. And I will say this to anybody that wants to get into podcasting: go for it. Do your thing, show up, show out, and showcase that confidence. And basically, what I always tell people, and I love this: life is an art form, and we are all applying our crafts, and just continue to apply your crafts in amazing fashion.
Awesome. Serena says hi. She's my booker. Hi,
Oh,
Serena.
hello, Serena. How are you?
No, you don't have to apologize. It's awesome that
Oh,
you're talking.
thank you for interacting, Brittany. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right. Now I got to plug some of my stuff. I got a long list.
Now, go ahead, man.
All right. I have, hold on. Here we go. Dominic Stuckey coming on tomorrow night at 8 p.m. He'll be here tomorrow night. with me. Ooh, long list. I got Scarlet Rose tomorrow night at 9. Tomorrow night, I'm so busy. She's coming on tomorrow. And then I got Chaos coming on at 7. So it's going to be a long night. Up next for me tonight will be Sam Muchnick Award winner of 2023, Darla Staggs. She'll be accepting this award in May. And Herb Simmons, promoter extraordinaire, 50 years in the business, will be on to talk about the Sam Muchnick Award at the Bruiser Brody Memorial. Let me talk about my home promotion real quick. Victory Pro Wrestling, we got Blood, Sweat, and 17 years coming up. On April 15th. For more information, go to victoryprowrestling.com where you can get your tickets, and you can also sponsor a wrestler. How important is sponsoring?
Yeah, it's very sponsoring. Go ahead and out there and sponsor any wrestler. Show your love and show up and show out for your favorite professional wrestlers, whether it be male, female, doesn't matter. If you love professional wrestling, you want to support that professional wrestler, sponsor them, let them know you love them, show them that appreciation.
Absolutely. Do you recognize any of the talent real quickly?
Oh, my good. I do see a good old Cade LeBrock right there. Hell yeah.
Cade Lothbrock, that's right.
Cade Lothbrock, yeah. Oh, my goodness. Him and Foxy have been killing it, man. Another NYWC OG.
Yes.
Oh, that makes me smile. Okay.
Absolutely. All right. But they also announced today the return of VSK.
Woo! Oh,
coming Saturday night, April 15th.
Man.
That's going to be awesome. VSK always brings it, and I'm glad to have him coming. We're also going to do a specials throughout the month of March leading up to that event. As you can see, I'll be hanging out with some VPW stars over there. We'll be talking about the show and other things coming up. It's a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff. The big horror event's coming up for me on March 11th. Me and Robbie Rebel are going to have our own table. We'll be hanging out there. A lot of big stars at this one. Cody Rhodes, Charlotte Flair, Edge, the Acclaimed.
Yes. Oh, man, that's awesome. And LaGuardia Plaza. Oh, Queens, New York, baby.
Oh,
Queens, yes.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Also, we will be at Spring Fling's Icons of Wrestling in Philly the Saturday after. Me and Robbie got another table over there. FTR is going to be there.
Say yeah, man. FTR. I love it.
The $1 Million Man as well. Oh. And let's not forget, coming up is Vlog Interaction, the season premiere. What is going on with the 23-6 championship, the most coveted title in all of YouTube? Look at that belt.
That's a beauty, man. I like
that. It's a beauty. It was handcrafted by a Bushman in the outback in Australia.
Wow. Okay.
True story. True story. I know. It's been 17 years for you. It's crazy, right? Crazy. Well, I don't like her. No offense to her. I don't know who that was, but okay. So who you don't like? Foxy said you're an awesome dude, Michael.
Oh, thank you so much. I love me some Foxy.
Awesome. I will be seeing Foxy as well at that show. Michael, thank you for hanging out with me for a little bit.
Oh, dude, it's a blast. Anytime you want me back, I'd love to have you, and on my show as well. Dude, let's do this
Definitely.
again.
Let me know, man. You got to talk to Serena. She books all my shows for me, though.
Oh, okay. Well, Serena will be talking. I understand the booking department. I love it.
Let me tell you got to get yourself a booker, man, to keep you grounded.
Hey, you have to. You have to. I like it. It's professional, and you are a hell of a professional, and I truly am blessed to be here. Thank you so much.
They're starting to call me, Big Deal Thanks over here.
Big Deal Thanks, BD. Big Deal Thanks, BDD. Yes, put the hashtag on it.
That's right. Oh, she repeated her comment. Hold on. No, she didn't. She commented on a post saying that. Oh, she commented on one of our posts.
Oh, wonderful.
Announcing you coming on. So thank you, Foxy.
Thank you, Foxy.
All right, everybody, we will be back. All right, Serena, you guys are friends again. We will be back with Darla hopefully in a few 15, 20 minutes. Everybody else, I'll see you then. And Mike, stick around after the broadcast. Have a good night, everybody. See you soon. Subscribe.